Good morning, everyone, and welcome to The Balancing Act. We're so glad you're here. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Olga Villaverde. Today, we're focusing on our health. We'll be speaking with some dedicated women who are shedding light on metastatic breast cancer.
You know, it's a serious and unfortunately fatal diagnosis, which can also affect men. The cancer starts in the breast and moves throughout the body.
And Julie, wait until you meet these ladies, truly inspirational women. The Balancing Act starts right now. The women you're looking at appear no different than any one of us. Mother, daughter, sister, friend. But these ladies are more than just another face in the crowd. Although you can't tell just by looking at them, some of them are dying. Their days numbered, while others have already left us. The phrase "we take too much for granted" takes on a new meaning in this segment. Our special guests are Kelly Lang, past president of Metaviva Research and Support, and C.J. Corneliuson James, a co-founder and the director of advocacy for the organization, which is dedicated to the specific fight of women and men living with metastatic breast cancer. Ladies, good morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Now, I'm sure all of us know someone who has or had breast cancer, and in many cases, they went on to talk about how they beat it. But today, we want to bring awareness to a whole community of breast cancer patients who will most likely lose that battle. And practically no one who has had breast cancer is immune. Ladies, for starters, once again, and thank you so much for being here. Kelly, let's talk about metastatic breast cancer. What is it?
Metastatic cancer is cancer that has spread beyond its original origin and into another organ in the body. So metastatic breast cancer originated in the breast as breast cancer, but then has spread to a distant organ where it becomes deadly. So typically that is lung or bone or brain or liver, most commonly, but metastatic breast cancer can do whatever it wants, so there are no rules.
CJ?
If you know somebody who's died of breast cancer, they've died of metastatic breast cancer. It's the only breast cancer you can die from. Many people have never even heard of it, but it's far more common than you would think, and it's very deadly.
So there is no cure, obviously.
There is no cure.
Kelly, no cure, and it's amazing because with some cancer patients, you hear that they're at least fighting and trying to beat the cancer, but with metastatic breast cancer, you most likely won't survive.
That's right. In 98% of cases, this is a terminal illness. So we hope for effective treatments that increase our lifespan with good quality of life, but it doesn't always work that way. We continue to lose about 40,000 American women and men every year, a number that hasn't changed in decades. So the scariest thing perhaps is that 1 in 3 people with earlier stage breast cancers will eventually metastasize. Even stage 0 patients can and do metastasize. It can happen immediately, presenting initially at stage 4, and it can also happen 25 years later. No one is safe from this.
And I do want to tell my viewers, and before we go any further, I'd like to share with them the fact that both of my guests, Kelly and CJ, they both have metastatic breast cancer. CJ, can you share your story with us?
Yes. Actually, I retired from the Air Force after 24 years as an intelligence officer in 2003 and went later that year for my annual mammogram, as I always do. And at that point, they saw nothing. It was a clean mammogram. But 3 months later, I found a lump under my arm. So I went straight to the doctor, and I had stage 2 breast cancer. They rushed me into surgery, and I had extensive chemotherapy and radiation and went on a pill regimen. But in less than 2 years, I had metastasized to my lung. So it can happen that fast. Mammograms do not see all cancers. They sometimes miss them. And you can metastasize at any time.
Are you scared?
I was really terrified, and what became very clear to me at that point was that the pink community, as we sometimes refer to it, they are largely set up for stage 0, 1, 2, and 3 breast cancer. Metastatic breast cancer is a very different disease. They're not set up for it, and people are largely afraid of the disease, and they don't want to deal with people who have stage 4 cancer, so you are really isolated and alone.
Kelly, can you share your personal story?
Sure. I was diagnosed when I was 32. 19 years ago, and over the years I've had several regional recurrences in lymph nodes, and eventually it metastasized to my skin. I lately have enjoyed a relatively long period of good drug response, which I'm very grateful for. And while I will say that my response to my drug has been unusually good, the diagnosis at my age is not unusual.
Ladies, your stories are numbing, and I know there are so many similar stories out there. And these two ladies have so much more to share with us this morning, but we have to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear how they're managing today in spite of facing the ultimate death sentence. We're also going to discuss how you can help put this devastating diagnosis in the public light with the end game of saving lives. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. We've been talking with Kelly Lang, past president of Metaviver Research and Support, and CJ Corneliuson James, co-founder and the director of advocacy for the organization. And also now joining us is Lori Marks-Rubiner, president of Metaviver. All of these ladies have the deadly metastatic breast cancer, which means the cancer has spread from the breast to other parts of the body. As we discussed earlier, there is no cure for metastatic breast cancer, no cure whatsoever. Lori, let me bring you in. On average, when there is a diagnosis, what is the, I guess, the average lifespan?
So life expectancy is about 2 years. And that's from the time of a metastatic diagnosis. And I happen to have been diagnosed on a routine mammogram. Okay. My doctor, for whatever reason, her instinct was to do a baseline mammogram when I was 35. Diagnosed at stage 2 and underwent surgery and chemotherapy, 5 years of hormone treatment, and was doing really well, seemingly well, for the next 8 years. And then around year 9, started seeing some suspicious findings in my blood work and my scans, and was then diagnosed at stage 4.
I can only imagine, ladies, and Kelly, if you want to chime in, between everything you do, your personal activities, your busy life, your family, being a Metaviver lady, if you will, I guess it all helps.
It does. You know, between our treatments, we're able to do a lot of things. And as I've said before, I particularly enjoy a good quality of life. I'm very grateful for that. That enables me to continue my volunteer work and spending time with family and friends. But a lot of the side effects that we experience are really not visible, like sometimes crushing fatigue or mouth sores or debilitating pain that comes and goes. Anemia can be a problem that you just learn to live with.
You have to move forward. There's not a good alternative to that, but it is something that's always on your mind. You try not to dwell on it, but you're always alert.
Lori, keeping busy and doing what these ladies do, does it help you think of the inevitable?
I think that's always under the surface. It's hard not to live with that, but also, you know, we all, and I think most of the people we know living with stage 4 disease live in spite of it and really want to live fully.
Kelly, let me ask you about the actual organization, the funding. Just tell me all about Metaviver.
Well, the word Metaviver really is a blend of the word survivor and metastasis. A lot of us feel that the word survivor doesn't adequately represent our situation because we won't survive the disease. So we coined the term Metaviver, one of our co-founders did, and founded the organization to fund research for metastatic breast cancer. So over the years, we started funding our first grants with events in our hometown. We started literally with yard sales and raffles, and now we're very grateful that people all over the country host fundraisers for us.
And no doubt the funding, I would think, is not as much as you would like to see, right, CJ?
That's correct. We could not find any place that would use any funds we donated specifically for metastatic cancer research. So we said, fine, we'll do it ourselves. We say that since 30% of patients are metastasizing for all cancers, they need to raise that level of funding to 30% of cancer research funds.
I must tell you, you ladies are such an inspiration, and your strength is remarkable to me. Remarkable.
Thank you.
If I could ask Kelly some last words that you would say for someone that maybe today or tomorrow is going to hear that stage 4 diagnosis?
I would say you're not alone. It happens to so many of us.
We want the patient to know that they did nothing to cause this. This can happen to anybody at any time. It is not their fault. It's not that they didn't do something. It's not that they did do something. Stage 4 breast cancer just happens.
I think I would add that we understand. And as Kelly said, we're here, we get it. We know that there are moments of deep sorrow, profound fear, and moments of, I've got this. I can live with this and make the most of whatever time we have left. We are all living on borrowed time. We've all passed that 2-year mark, and we want to help more people follow in our footsteps.
God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for more information on Metavivor and metastatic breast cancer and how you can help, visit our website. That's thebalancingact.com, thebalancingact.com.
I don't know about you, but I always look forward to our annual family vacation. Each year we talk about where we're going to go and what we're going to do, and they can be so much fun to plan, and they're such a source of great memories. But did you know that over 500 million vacation days go unused each year in the U.S. alone? The good news is that it doesn't have to be that way. Joining me is Fiona Downing, Senior Vice President of Endless Vacation Rentals by RCI. Hi, Fiona.
Hi, Julie.
We're so glad you're here. This is such a fun topic, and you have so much experience, over 20 years of experience. And I want to ask you, right off the bat, why do we find that so many people, especially in the United States, don't take their vacation days?
Well, I think we all just get too busy. We're busy managing work and home, and even planning a vacation can be a hassle, and so it becomes overwhelming, and so people just keep putting it off.
But it's really important to take vacations, right?
It absolutely is. It's the best way to reconnect and spend time with your family and your loved ones. In fact, 93% of kids, when they're asked what's the most important part of a vacation, is spending quality time with their parents.
Oh, I love that. Love to hear that.
Yeah, and you get a chance just to relax and unwind and recharge your batteries, and then you're able to deal with stress better, just handle life. And many people actually, if they take a vacation every year, they're more productive at work.
That's for sure. I'm that way. Once I come back, I have more focus.
You're ready for action.
it. So how can people make sure they don't fall into that trap of not taking vacation time?
Well, you have to really commit to making sure that you're going to take a vacation every year. And that's one of the great benefits of vacation ownership or timeshare. Because you've invested up front, you're much more likely to make sure that you do take that vacation year after year. There are 20 million timeshare owners around the world, and their satisfaction rates are really high. Here in the US, it's about 85%, and that's because they're the ones that are guaranteed a vacation.
That's good to know. But, there are a lot of misconceptions about timeshare. Why do you think that is?
There is. A lot of that is, it's from many years ago, and it's for people who really don't know much about timeshare and don't own. Today, there are so many huge brands involved in timeshare, people that you would recognize, like Disney and Hilton, Holiday Inn, Hard Rock, so many. And there's also thousands of independent, smaller brands, and all of them are really committed to making sure that you have quality accommodation and just a great vacation experience. The other big misconception is that when you buy timeshare, you have to go to the same place every year.
Yes, and that's not the case. You can go different every year,
exactly.
Right?
And with companies like RCI, we have access to over 4,500 affiliated resorts in 100 countries around the world, and so you can exchange your week of ownership with another place at another time of year.
Fantastic.
And we also have a lot of great locations. And so some of the places that you would imagine, like Orlando or Vegas, but you can also go to some more exotic destinations like Thailand or Brazil or the south of France.
Now, talk to me about some of the benefits of timeshare versus typical hotel stay vacations.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest benefits is the size of the accommodations. So, you know, we've all been in that situation where you and your children and your husband are crammed into one bedroom in a hotel.
And they're going to sleep and you're like tiptoeing around.
Exactly. So once they're asleep, especially when they're young, you know, what do? You're so worried about waking them up. Whereas with timeshare, quite often you have multiple bedrooms, multiple bathrooms, you have a living area, a dining room, often a full kitchen, and so you can tuck the little ones in bed, and then you can make dinner, just spend some time with your husband, and really enjoy the vacation.
Now that's a vacation.
Exactly.
How can viewers learn more about how to take advantage of this great way to treat themselves to a vacation?
Well, they can download our magazine. We have a magazine for iPad called Endless Vacation Magazine. It's one of the largest travel magazines in the world.
Wow.
And if they do that, it's really interactive, very fun, so they can start exploring different destinations and really dream about where to go next. And then if they're ready to book, they can go to our website, which is endlessvacationrentals.com. Okay. And there they'll be able to choose from, you know, thousands of timeshare properties around the world. And we can book the whole package, so they can book a flight, a car rental, even a cruise.
Oh my gosh, one stop right there. You can do it all.
And there's a lot of fabulous offers. So it's a really good way, low-cost way, to try before they commit to buying.
Okay, note to self, next time, endlessvacationrentals.com. I'm going there.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you so much for coming in. Such a great treat to hear this information.
Thank you.
And if you want to learn more, log on to thebalancingact.com. You can also follow us on Facebook as well, and we love hearing from you.
We are so glad you spent part of your morning with us. And Julie, I just want to thank our guests for their courage. God bless them.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable women.
Inspirational, remind you to be grateful. And I just want to really say again, thank them. Thank you for watching. This was a very inspirational show this morning. We wish them all the best.
Amen.
And there's always lots more information on all of today's topics on our website, thebalancingact.com. Check it out.
And we're social too. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Thanks for joining us today. Remember, find your balance.
So long, everybody.